Today is Wednesday, March 29th, 2017, and today we got to talk about the whole Bill O'Reilly, Maxine Waters, kerfuffle, the little brouhaha, the incident that happened on air. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Bill O'Reilly was looking at some footage of Maxine Waters talking about Trump and the administration, and he was kind of like giving this commentary. You couldn't really hear him, but you can kind of see what he was saying, and I'll play that in a little bit. And then after the short commentary was over, he then made a comment about her hair. Now, before I get into my thoughts about that, before I break it down and get a little bit deeper, what I want to do right now is go ahead and roll that clip. I'll roll the full clip. I saw some footage on Twitter, and the person that posted it did not post the entire thing. Maybe if I post the whole thing, it may give you a little bit more context, but the general premise of it is still pretty much the same. But I want to play all that I have just to be 100% transparent. So without further ado, go ahead and roll it.
We have suffered discrimination. We have suffered isolation and undermining, but we stand up for America, oftentimes when others who think they are more patriotic, who say they're more patriotic, do not. When we fight against this president and we point out how dangerous he is for this society and for this country, we're fighting for the democracy. We're fighting for America. We're saying to those who say they're patriotic, but they turned a blind eye to the destruction that he's about to cause this country. You're not nearly as patriotic as we are.
So what does that mean, Bill? We've been listening all morning. We cannot.
I didn't hear a word she said. I was looking at the James Brown wig. If we have a picture of James, it's the same.
It's the same one,
no,
right? And
okay.
he's not using it
I
anymore.
got to defend her on that.
You're all wrong about
I have
this.
to defend her on that. You can't go after a woman's looks. I think she's very attractive.
But I didn't say she wasn't attractive. I love James Brown. But it's the same hair James Brown, or the Godfather of Soul, had.
So he had girl hair.
Whatever it is, I just couldn't get by it. You're all wrong about Maxine Waters. Number one, she's a sincere individual. Whatever she says, she believes. She's not a phony, all right?
That's right.
And that's old school, all right? If you're not a phony.
Speaking of old school, you got this new book coming out.
So we're giving Maxine a break here. I love you, Maxine. I want to see you on The Factor. And when hell freezes over, I'm sure that'll happen.
Right.
Okay, so you saw that. You saw what's going on there. Now, me personally, I thought it was hilarious. Like right when I saw it, I was seeing it on social media at first. People are saying, oh, racist and sexist comment, which, by the way, before I even get into my feelings about it, racist and sexist, how is a joke about somebody's hair racist or sexist? It doesn't make any sense. First of all, James Brown is black. Maxine Waters is black. So how is comparing one black person's hair to another black person's hair, how is that racist? It does not make any sense. Now, I could understand if you said that she looks like a baboon or a gorilla or an animal or something like that. That's racially charged right there because of the history of comparing blacks to animals. But if you compare one black person to another black person, it doesn't make sense to call that racist. It just doesn't, it doesn't compute to me. And then sexist. How is it sexist? She's a woman and James Brown's a man. So how is that sexist? If anything, that's like egalitarian. You're comparing a man to a woman. You're not really looking at the gender. So how is that sexist? It does not make any sense. The only reason why people are saying that it's sexist and racist is because Maxine Waters is a woman. So automatically anything said about a woman is sexist, even though a lot of the feminists that push that ideology purport themselves to be equal to men. But in reality, they're not, because you could say anything about a man. You could say Donald Trump has the orange skin, the fake toupee, this, that, and the third, which I'll get to in a little bit. And that's not sexist or racist. But with Maxine Waters, you could say something about her hair only, not even her skin tone, just her hair. Then that's sexist and racist. It does not make any sense, but I digress. Now, getting back on track here, the whole thing was just overblown. I mean, it was just about her hair. I mean, it was an accurate depiction. I placed a picture on the screen before you of James Brown and Maxine Waters. I mean, it looks pretty identical to me. It was a funny joke. It was just a joke. It wasn't really that deep. It wasn't that deep. You can't try to say that that's racist or sexist. Like I said earlier, people can make all these jokes about Donald Trump. They can say he has orange skin, the fake toupee, all kind of stuff. And it was funny to see Jimmy Fallon when he messed Trump's hair up on TV. I thought it was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of cute. You know, I thought it was a way to look at Trump as a human being, but people got mad at Jimmy Fallon for doing that to Trump's hair, not because it was offensive to Trump or it was sexist against Trump or it was racist against Trump. They were mad at Fallon for humanizing a monster, right? But then when you have Bill O'Reilly make a joke about Maxine Waters' hair, damn, people are mad at Bill O'Reilly because he's a white male making fun of a black woman's hair, which is just silly. I mean, if we're going to be all about equality, if we're going to be all about, you know, there's no difference between men and women, is that and the third, then why can't a joke be made about a woman that's also made about a man and be taken the same way? Obviously, we're not right there at that moment. So this whole thing about men and women being the same obviously can't be true coming from the left. That's just my 2 cents on it. But see, the way I heard about this whole incident, this dust up, was from Hillary Clinton, who just came out of her vampire's den for the past few months. I'm not quite sure what she's been doing down there. Hopefully it was not anything illegal going on. Hopefully they were not feeding on those Hungarian children like I talked about in the previous videos. Hopefully it was not that. But she resurfaced and then gave some kind of speech about something. I'm not quite sure what it was. I mean, before I get into what she said, I want you to go ahead and check out this clip, and then you'll see her appearance and you'll see what she was talking about. And we'll come back. I'll discuss that, and then I'll discuss what else she was talking about aside from the Bill O'Reilly and Maxine Waters kerfuffle. So without further ado, go ahead and roll it.
Everyday sexism and structural barriers were once blatant. Today, they're sometimes harder to spot, but make no mistake, they're still with us. Just look at all that's happened in the last few days to women who were simply doing their jobs. April Ryan, a respected journalist with unrivaled integrity, was doing her job just this afternoon in the White House press room when she was patronized and cut off trying to ask a question. One of your own California congresswomen, Maxine Waters, was taunted with a racist joke about her hair. Now, too many women, especially women of color, have had a lifetime of practice taking precisely these kinds of indignities in stride. But why should we have to? And any woman who thinks this couldn't be directed at her is living in a dream world.
Okay, so you saw that. You saw when she was saying, oh, well, you know, you're talking about women, is this sexist thing, this, that, and the third, and you're talking about April Ryan. Now, the whole thing with April Ryan is a journalist who's been around for a very long time, who was pretty much just a nobody, essentially. And I think she is starting to get a little bit of star power, or she's trying to get more of the star power she had when she had a little bit of an issue with Donald Trump. Remember, this was the woman that had asked about the Congressional Black Caucus, and then Donald Trump said, hey, why don't you set up the meeting? And then people said that he was racist to ask her that question because she was black. But it don't make no sense because she's the one that brought up the Congressional Black Caucus. So why would you bring them up if you don't know any of them and if you can't get the meeting arranged? And by the way, during that whole situation, they did get the meeting set up, and then the CBC jokingly thanked April Ryan for setting it up. And of course, right when the question was asked of her by Donald Trump in that press conference, she said that she did know some of them. So the question was accurate because she did know some of them, because that was his question. Do you know them? Can you set it up? She did know some of them, and the CBC jokingly thanked her for setting it up. So obviously his question was right on point, but he got called racist for asking that. But I digress. Now, getting back to the situation at hand brought up by Hillary Clinton about Sean Spicer and April Ryan. Now, this was crazy. I've seen some of the stuff, some of the headlines. You know, they're trying to frame Sean Spicer as being a misogynist or something like that, a woman hater, or somebody that's trying to be domineering and trying to control black women, this, that, and the third. What I want to do right now is go ahead and roll that clip, and you're able to see what he was saying. You're able to see it in context, and you're able to understand why he said what he said. Then after we get done watching that, I'll come back, talk about it, and then we'll wrap it on up with a discussion about that and also how it ties into the previous video that you saw. So without further ado, go ahead and roll this.
Is it April?
April, go ahead.
All right, thank you. Sean, don't seem so happy. You like, go ahead. Anyway, with all of these investigations, questions of what is, how does this administration try to revamp its image? 2.5 months in, you've got this Yates story today. You've got other things going on. You've got Russia. You've got wiretap, and you've got...
No, we don't have that. You I know.
On Capitol Hill.
No, I get it, but you keep... I've said it from the day that I got here until whatever, that there is no connection. You've got Russia. If the president puts Russian salad dressing on his salad tonight, somehow that's a Russian connection. But every single person... No, that's... I appreciate your agenda here, but the reality is... Oh, no, hold on. No, at some point, report the facts. The facts are that every single person who has been briefed on this subject has come away with the same conclusion. Republican, Democrat, so I'm sorry that disgusts you. You're shaking your head. I appreciate it, but understand this, that at some point the facts are what they are. And every single person who has been briefed on this situation with respect to the situation with Russia, Republican, Democrat, appointee, career, have all come to the same conclusion. At some point, April, you're going to have to take no for an answer with respect to whether or not there was collusion.
How do you change the perception of...
We're going to keep doing everything we're doing to make sure that what the president told the American people he was going to do to fulfill those pledges and promises that he made, to bring back jobs, to grow the economy, to keep our nation safe. That's what he's been focused on since day one. We're going to keep focusing on that every single day.
Comes Friday. Condi Rice did not support this president. She did not go to the convention. She comes. What is on the agenda, and how is their relationship? Has it healed since 2006 when he used a very negative word to describe?
So here's what I'll tell you. It's interesting that you ask those two questions back to back. On the one hand, you're saying, what are we doing to improve our image? And then here he is once again meeting somebody that hasn't been a big supporter of his. Hold on. But April, hold on. You it seems like you're hell-bent on trying to make sure that whatever image you want to tell about this White House stays, because at the end of the day, let me answer. I understand. Okay, but you know what? You're asking me a question, and I'm going to answer it, which is the president. I'm sorry. Please stop shaking your head again. But at some point, the reality is that this president continues to reach out to individuals who've supported him, who didn't support him, Republicans, Democrats, to try to bring the country together and move forward on an agenda that's going to help every American. That's it, plain and simple. So if you're asking what we're doing, I think we continue to do it, which is to bring groups together that have been supportive of them, that haven't been supportive of them, but to share a goal, which is finding common ground on areas of national security, of personal security, of economic security, of job creation, of safer communities, of education, of health care, that can unite us as a country and make the country stronger.
Was it about Russia and Tillerson Friday?
I think they're good. I'm not ready to when we're done with that, we'll see if we can have a readout. Hold on. I understand that. We're not at Friday yet. I will have a readout when that's done. I know the pool needs to get to the vans for the signing. Thank you. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do 5 days in a row this week, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so you see what's happening there. You see what's going on. Now, you see Sean Spicer got a little bit upset or kind of frustrated, because how many times can you get asked the same question about Russia? You get asked about Russia every single day. Even some of the press corps laughed when he talked about, well, if Trump uses Russian salad dressing, then he has ties with Russia. Even they laughed at that, because they know how often that same question gets asked over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's where some of the frustration came in. And then you got April Ryan asking these questions and shaking her head, being kind of snarky. He's just kind of getting upset. He's like, please stop shaking your head. Now, the media wants to twist that and say, oh, he's trying to control her. He's being a misogynist. He's being a racist. He's being a sexist. It's silly. These are just tactics that are used to try and get anybody affiliated with Donald Trump down a few notches. They're trying to make them become less credible, less reputable, and less effective in what they do. Trying to diminish their voice, therefore trying to silence their message. That's all that it is, because what Spicer said was really harmless. It was nothing. And Hillary Clinton, I don't even know why she's still talking. Like, when Mitt Romney lost the election, he pretty much just faded into obscurity. You didn't see him kind of still on the campaign trail a little bit. I don't know what she wants. Like, she's about 70 years old. Like, what do you want? You're in poor health. Maybe you should focus on trying to get your health tightened up rather than still trying to be within the media cabal and trying to operate things and control things that way. Maybe she has a lifelong contract with somebody that's higher up that's, it's like a blood contract. I don't know what's going on. She should just fade into obscurity and not be seen anymore, looking like Harley Quinn 80 years into the future. See, is that joke sexist? Is it racist? I mean, I don't know. Can we make jokes anymore? Can we poke fun anymore? And, as I close, I'll say that the mainstream media is very funny with how they have this selective outrage, because look at all the jokes about Donald Trump. Look at all the, the orange skin, the fake hair, the toupee. Look at when they had the naked statues of him in New York City with the very small, Johnson. All that kind of stuff was not really taken seriously. It was kind of laughed off. And you had journalists themselves making the orange skin jokes, making the fake hair jokes. And then you got Maxine Waters bringing it back on home to Maxine Waters and Bill O'Reilly, talking about how she does not respect this president. She does not honor this president, this, that, and the third, constantly attacking them every single day. And who is Maxine Waters really? She's a House rep not from LA, but representing LA. What has she actually done in LA? Maybe she has done something, but I've not heard about it. What's she actually done in LA? And why does she get so much face time? Why is she making all these speeches? Like, for what? For what? I mean, is she the head of the CBC or something, the Congressional Black Caucus? And if she is, who cares? What does the CBC actually do? What do they really do? They don't do anything. All I know about from the CBC is having that big party in Washington, D.C. every year. That's it. It's like a big fundraiser, and that's pretty much all. So all this talk coming from Maxine Waters, April Ryan, this whole beef between white men, black women is just really silly. At the end of the day, what's happening is you have black women that are liberal, not all black women, but liberal black women in politics, in media. They're part of a kind of protected class. You say anything that could be considered against them in any kind of way, you're automatically seen as a sexist and or racist. If you truly do not want to be sexist or racist, then maybe you shouldn't judge interactions based upon gender and race. But that's just my 2 cents. What do you think? Do you think that Bill O'Reilly was out of line with his joke about Maxine Waters' hair, the very accurate joke about having a James Brown wig, which I thought was funny? Was he out of line about that? And if he was out of line, do you think it was sexist or racist? How was it racist? Because again, Maxine Waters is black and James Brown was black. May he rest in peace. And how was it sexist? Because Maxine Waters is a woman and James Brown is a man. So how was it sexist? Now, about Sean Spicer and April Ryan, what do you think about that? Do you think that April Ryan was just doing her job and she got unfairly attacked by Sean Spicer? Or do you think that Sean Spicer was just getting frustrated about the constant Russia questions over and over, and he was just pretty much letting that be known in his tone? Is that how he always speaks? Do you think it was sexist or racist? Their interaction, that is. Whatever your comments are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.